Previously on Imperium, the surviving assault intercessors of Squad Martellus were unable to hold back the remaining Necron warriors of Pharaon's phalanx and prevent them from destroying the locator beacon. With Brother Oros having taken injuries, Squad Martellus were forced to fall back. Now, having reunited with Primaris Lieutenant Felicius Andranus, they face another wave of Necrons in the form of 3 Skorpekh Destroyers from the Bone Collectors unit. So we'll start with Space Marines turn 1, and they'll begin by moving 6 inches. So I've got Brother Oros going for the nearest Skorpekh Destroyer, Brother Manius going for the middle one, and Brother Ventris and the Primaris Lieutenant Felicius Andranus both going for the Skorpekh Destroyer at the rear. So now they're able to charge. So we'll begin with Brother Oros rolling 2 dice, getting a 9, and he is only 7 inches away, so it makes it to engagement range. Now for Brother Manius, getting a 7. So again, making it to engagement range. Brother Ventris, getting a 10. And Felicius Andranus, getting a 6. So all charges successful. Now on to the fight, and we begin with Brother Oros. So in this scenario, it's all melee attacks. So they'll be using their Astartes Chainsword, getting 2 attacks and needing a 3+ to hit. Getting a 5 and a 6, both hitting. So that Skorpekh Destroyer is going to have to make some save rolls. Needing a 3+ to save. Both unsuccessful, so 2 wounds going through. Meaning that Skorpekh Destroyer is now down to 1 wound remaining. Into the second fight, which is Brother Manius. So again, 2 attacks, needing 3+ to hit. 1 successful. 3+ to save. Both saves, so no successful wounds. And for the final fight, we'll start with Brother Ventris. 3+ to hit again. 1 hit. Made the save. And then for Felicius Andranus, he's got his master crafted power sword with 4 attacks and only needing a 2+ to wound. 3 successful ones. So the Skorpekh Destroyer needing a 3+ to save, making 2, but sustaining 1 wound.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Each month on the channel, I give my Patreon members the opportunity to become the sponsors of that episode's new models. They will receive them fully painted once the series has finished. This episode is the Skorpekh Destroyers, and LSX Optimus is the lucky winner. Next episode will be a Primaris captain, and for your chance to be its owner, check out my Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description.
So that is the end of Space Marines turn 1, onto Necrons turn 1. As all 3 Skorpekh Destroyers are already in engagement range, they will not be moving this turn. The only move for the Necrons will be the Canoptek Plasmacyte, whose objective is to make it all the way to the opposite edge of the board. And I'll be using Advance, so let's roll a dice. 3, so his move will go up to 11 inches. So already it's nearly halfway up the board. Onto the fight phase, and we'll start with the Skorpekh Destroyer facing off against Brother Oros. And with their hyperphase weapons, they have 3 attacks, needing a 3+ to hit. All 3 successful. So Brother Oros needs to make at least 2 of these saves, so looking for a 3+. 2 successful, so he will be sustaining 1 wound. On to the next fight. So on to the Skorpekh Destroyer facing off against Brother Manius. Again, 3 attacks, looking for a 3+. 1 successful. Unsuccessful save roll. So Brother Manius will be sustaining a wound. On to the final fight, and this Skorpekh Destroyer will aim his attacks all at Brother Ventris, as he only has 2 wounds, so will be the easier target to wipe out. 3 attacks. 1 successful. And an unsuccessful save roll. So all 3 Assault Intercessors now have 1 wound. And that is the end of Necron's turn 1, onto Space Marines turn 2. So no movement this turn, we'll just go straight into the fight. So the only move I'm going to make this turn is Brother Manius, who I'm going to move so that he's outside of engagement range of the Canoptek Plasmacyte. He's going to try and prevent the Canoptek Plasmacyte from making it off the other board edge. That's the moves done, onto the fight. So we'll start with Brother Oros, with his 2 attacks, looking for a 3+. Both successful. Skorpekh Destroyer needing 3+ to save. Both successful, no wounds. Onto Brother Manius. So 2 attacks hitting on a 3+. 1 successful. The Canoptek Plasmacyte only has 1 wound, so it needs to make this save. Looking for a 4+. Unsuccessful. So the Canoptek Plasmacyte is actually destroyed and removed from the game. So the Necrons are unable to reach that objective. So now all that's left is total destruction for one side. So next up we have Brother Ventress. 2 attacks looking for a 3+. 1 successful. And a successful save, so no wounds. Onto Felicius with his 4 attacks looking for a 2+. All 4 successful. 3 successful saves, but 1 wound going through. So that Skorpekh Destroyer is now on 2 wounds. And that is the end of Space Marines turn 2, onto Necrons turn 2. As all the Skorpekh Destroyers are already in engagement range, they're not going to move. But I am just going to turn that one in the centre there, onto the fight. So beginning with this one facing off against Brother Oros, with his 3 attacks, looking for a 3+. 2 successful. And 2 successful save rolls, so no wounds. Onto the next one facing off against Brother Manius. 2 successful hits. And 1 successful save, so 1 wound is going through. As the Assault Intercessors only have 2 wounds, that's Brother Manius out of this round. That levels the playing field slightly. Onto the last fight, and again he'll be aiming his attacks into Brother Ventress. So 3 attacks looking for a 3+. 2 successful. Saving on a 3+. Both successful, so no wounds. That's the end of Necron's turn 2, onto Space Marines turn 3. And the only move I'm going to make is for Brother Ventress to engage with the Skorpekh Destroyer in the middle, who's currently not doing anything. And now that gives us 3 one-on-one fights. As always, starting with Brother Oros, with his 2 attacks looking for a 3+. 1 successful. And a successful save roll, so no wounds. Will Brother Ventress have better luck? 1 successful hit roll. And an unsuccessful save roll. So yes, Brother Ventress will have better luck, and he's managed to give 1 wound to the Skorpekh Destroyer. On to the final fight. Felicius with his 4 attacks, and only needing a 2+. 4 successful rolls. The Skorpekh Destroyer needing to make all of these, as he's only got 1 wound remaining. But only 1 successful, 3 wounds going through, so he's out of the game. The Space Marines now have the advantage at the end of their turn 3, onto Necron's turn 3. Starting with the Skorpekh Destroyer facing off against Brother Oros, let's see if he can turn the tables. So 3 attacks looking for a 3+. 1 successful. And 1 successful save roll, so no wounds. On to the next one in the centre, who's now facing off against Brother Ventress. So 3 successful. But only 1 successful save roll. So Brother Ventress is now out of the game. That brings it back to a 2-on-2. And that is the end of Necron's turn 3, onto Space Marines turn 4. So the only movement in this turn is going to be Felicius Andranus,
And for that we'll be advancing. So with the roll of 4 he can easily get within engagement range. Onto the fight phase. Can Brother Oros finally finish what he started? So 2 attacks looking for a 3+. 1 successful. And 1 successful save roll, so again no wounds. Can the Lieutenant Felicius destroy this Skorpekh Destroyer in the centre? With his 4 attacks hitting on a 2+. 3 successful. Skorpekh Destroyer looking for 3+ to save. All 3 successful, so again no wounds. And that is the end of Space Marine turn 4, onto Necrons turn 4. And with no moves, we'll just go straight into the fight. So 3 attacks looking for a 3+. 3 successful. Oros looking for 3+ to save. Only 2 successful, so 1 wound going through. And as he only has 2 wounds, that means he is now out of the game. Making that Felicius Andranus against 2 Skorpekh Destroyers now. How will he fare in this fight? So Skorpekh Destroyer with his 3 attacks looking for 3+ to hit. 2 successful. And Felicius needing 3+ to save. Both successful, so no wounds. That's the end of Necrons turn 4. Onto Space Marines turn 5. And we'll just jump straight into the fight. So Felicius, 4 attacks, 2+ to hit. 3 successful. Skorpekh Destroyer looking for 3+ to save. 2 successful, but 1 wound is going through. So he is now down to 1 wound remaining. And that is the end of Space Marines turn 5, onto Necrons turn 5. And this Skorpekh Destroyer is 11 inches away from Felicius. So he'll be making a move as normal and then making a charge. Movement of 8 inches. And then a charge roll of 7, so that is plenty enough to get an engagement range. Onto the fight. And as they both have 3 attacks each, let's just roll all 6 dice together. So hitting on a 3+. 4 successful. And Felicius saving on a 3+. Only 2 successful, so 2 wounds going through. Meaning he is down to 3 remaining. And that is the end of Necrons turn 5, onto Space Marines turn 6. And we'll jump straight into the fight. So Felicius with his 4 attacks, hitting on a 2+. All 4 successful. Oh, and I should have said he's aiming at this one here. 2 successful save rolls, but 2 unsuccessful, meaning he's taken 2 wounds, so he is out. And that is the end of Space Marines turn 6, onto Necrons turn 6. So Skorpekh Destroyer, 3 attacks, looking for 3+. 2 successful. And 2 successful save rolls, so no wounds. End of Necrons turn 6, onto Space Marines turn 7. Can Felicius finally end it with his 4 attacks, hitting on a 2+. All 4 successful. And with 2 unsuccessful save rolls, that is a Skorpekh Destroyer destroyed. Space Marines win. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Imperium. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.